At the Hinkle Law Firm, in our family business group, we work on these business succession issues all the time. And we're working with a business owner throughout their life. And we're there in a consulting role. And so not only do we provide the actual legal documents on how we set that business up and how do we stay in compliance while the business is running, and the legal documents that are related to what businesses they're doing. A family business is particularly interesting and has some nuances because there is a family component in addition to the business component. And so it's very difficult. You need to separate the two or understand that there are family issues and there are business issues, but you cannot tackle one and ignore the other.
All businesses can benefit from business planning, from family business planning. Small mom and pop businesses up to enormous, large, closely held businesses. Every type of business can benefit from family business planning. It's essentially focusing on how do we maximize the value to the owner and how do we transition that wealth from one generation to the next or from one owner to the next.
So the first legal issue that a new business owner faces would be which entity to choose, but that's just the beginning. And it's important that that relationship gets started then and business succession starts at the very start. Because throughout the lifetime of the business, then there's going to be everyday business needs, selling an asset, signing a lease, other types of business employment issues may come up. And as the business grows, its legal needs will be addressed. And how we solve those, of course, will also mean what condition is the business in when we sell it or when the transition comes.
And so part of what we do is help identify those potential risks as part of the succession plan, and then build strategies and use techniques to help limit the consequences, or the negative consequences at least, of those potential risks if they do creep up during the succession process. And because that is a comprehensive review of not just the business, but the business owner's assets and estate plan, we can tie all of those things together so that there isn't a disconnect from the estate plan versus the business succession plan.
If we know where you want to go, we can get you there in a tax efficient manner. And being early is the key. You know, if you're 20 years from retirement and you come in and you have a $5 million business and you let us know that, hey, I'm hoping to grow this into a $50 million business when I retire, well, we can do a lot there. From a planning perspective, even just moving some of those assets to an irrevocable trust and locking in that value, just that $50 million of growth, we could save 40% of estate taxes on that. And, that wealth shift is enormous that we can do as long as we know where you want to go. Even if you don't get there, just having that plan. If you end up a $5 million company and you only end up making $15 million, well, even just that plan to get there, we're still saving a lot of taxes and implementing a solid strategy going forward. So we just need to have that plan.
So one of the things we can do is really look at your company and how it's going to compare to comparable companies either in your size or in your industry, because that's what a potential buyer is going to do. They're going to look at your profitability or how you're operating compared to other similar companies in the industry in order to figure out maybe what a potential price would be. And we just want to make sure that those different margins, profit margins, operating margins, are all the best that we can have in order to sell. And again, so time on our side lets us really clean up those financial statements, look at those things that we might be able to improve on, and to make those financials the best product you can for a potential buyer.
We oftentimes have clients who are farmers, ranchers, or are in the ag business, and they have unique needs. And what we often see over and over again is a farmer or rancher who has all of their eggs in one basket. Their operations, their land, machinery, equipment, all either in a proprietorship or in a partnership or in a limited liability company where everything is together and all of it is at risk. One of the easiest steps that you can take when you have a business like that is to separate the capital from the operations. So when we say a rancher, a farmer, one of the first things we'll do is suggest that they transfer the land into a holding company and separate that from the business operations and the business risk of farming or ranching.
One of the things that valuation can also be helpful for is what we like to call a corporate divorce. So let's say that we have two brothers who inherited a company from mom and dad, and they each run separate locations of a company. So there are ways that we can separate that and with corporation rules and not have tax implications, but we have to also value those assets to make sure that one brother isn't maybe getting shortchanged from the other. And so again, we can use valuation to split assets, try and settle family disputes. Sometimes those sort of things happen once mom and dad are gone. You're fighting with siblings, for example, over who gets the operating company, who gets these other assets. So it doesn't always have to be a fight, but we can again provide those services, give everyone kind of gut checks on what a value might be and how we can incorporate that and how it's incorporated into the overall plan.
I think just planning. I think just, failing to plan is, kind of expecting to fail. I think a lot of business owners, they're so focused on kind of the day-to-day that they don't really think about what 20, 30, 40 years really looks like. And when they sit down and actually make a plan, then usually their business is more successful.